All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be looking at Chapter 2, Planning Your Career. So we're going to be looking at finding the right career fit and how to find career opportunities. So both of these are important as you think about what kind of job you might want to have, building off what we learned in Chapter 1, and actually finding a job once you've identified what you might be interested in exploring in your career. All right, so let's jump in here. Starting very basic, why do people work? There's three reasons why somebody works in a general sense. There are needs, there are wants, and there are goals. So needs, things you need, food, shelter, you know, basic necessities. There are things you want, right? There are things that you want to work towards, like goals. It also gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of identity of who you are and how you fit into society. So work can be something that brings people all of these things. There's a lot of factors that affect your career choices. Your values, how you want to live your life, the aptitudes that you have, meaning the areas where you are skilled, where you have strong abilities, where you're interested in. Other personal qualities might come into play. And so, as you're considering a job, you may say, look, this job has a high salary and maybe I have an aptitude for it, but I'm not interested in it. You may be great in math and science, but you may say, I don't want to become a doctor, or I don't want to become a researcher or an engineer because I'm interested in something else. Something else will bring more value to my life or fit my lifestyle more. And that's perfectly reasonable and acceptable as you consider a career choice. The values or the ideals in your life that are important to you. So these may come from your moral values, your religious values, just the things that when you look out and think about your life, what you feel are important. Your lifestyle is the way people choose to live your life, the way you choose to live your life based on the values that you've chosen. So for you, you may have particular priorities based on your values and lifestyle, and you want to think about those as you consider your career. Aptitudes and interests. An aptitude is just a natural physical or mental ability. You probably know at this point if you have an aptitude more towards a particular subject or area of study. Perhaps you are more geared towards English and social studies, and you like to read and you like to write, or perhaps you're more geared towards, as I said before, math and science. But interests and aptitudes don't always go hand in hand. You may be really good at something and not interested in it, or you maybe have to work harder at something but have a very high level of interest in it, and that might kind of override for you your aptitude. It's possible. Your personality is made up of a lot of individual qualities. So when you're thinking about a job, you want to think about what your personality is and how it might line up or not line up with a job that you're choosing to have. Your intelligence, your creativity, your sense of humor, your general attitude. These are all things you want to consider. Another thing is, do you feel that when you're thinking about career planning, that's an important task. You want to think about how much time you're going to spend working. How much time do you want to spend working? Is it worth it to you to spend lots of time working when it may take away from your other interests or other activities? Or do you want to go all in with your work and that's what's going to bring you your sense of identity? I'm not going to go through this whole list, but you can take a look at the types of work activities that exist. Um, I'm sure that you've thought through these things before, but just to point out a few, there are types of work that are concerned with helping others. There's types of work that is self-motivated. There's types of work that includes you working alone. These are just a few examples. Personal qualities that you want to consider. Again, I'm not going to read through all of these, but you can read through, you could pause it and read through these. But if you're a friendly, outgoing person versus if you're a shy person, that might impact the type of job that you'd want to have. It might not necessarily, but depending on how strong you are in these different areas, will be important for you to understand that a job might look great on paper, but if you do not have the personal qualities that fit with that job, you probably won't be happy. More personal qualities to consider. Um, You want to find a job, again, that fits with those qualities and that works with your strengths. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple steps in career planning: self-analysis, research, plan of action, and reevaluation. So you want to think about goals. A goal is the desired end towards which efforts are directed. They provide a sense of direction and a sense of purpose in your life. You probably have goals right now, things like what colleges you want to get into. Maybe you want to make varsity sports teams, or maybe you want to get to a certain level in band or choir or whatever. You have goals, and so you want to think about goals when you're transitioning into a job. So there's short-term goals, the ones you expect to reach in a few days or weeks. There are intermediate goals in the next few months or years, and then there are long-term goals. Think about 5 or 10-year plans down the road. It's important to set goals and to have them when you're thinking about a career. So an example of that would be, I have no idea why it says short-term, intermediate, and long-term. I guess maybe they're supposed to be term, and they got cut off. I have no idea. But anyway, short-term goals, intermediate goals, long-term goals. I'm not going to go through this whole checklist. Experience is another really important factor to consider. To a certain extent, when you're starting off, you can't have experience. You have to have zero experience at some point. But doing internships and part-time jobs and different experiences that give you experience in a field is helpful, because lack of experience may mean a lower salary, and more experience may make you more competitive as an employee and bring higher salaries. Okay, 2.2, finding career opportunities. So since we've talked about the first part, let's consider where you can find job opportunities and thinking about techniques and a design to get the plan, designing a plan to get the job that you want. There's a lot of sources of job opportunity information. The internet should probably be the first, but this was made in 2010, and so um, I would put the internet as the highest, most important, most common. But word of mouth is also really important. So people you know, friends, family, etc., giving you a heads up about a job usually is sometimes they might have advanced word before it's posted somewhere, and that's always helpful. School counseling, placement services. You may want to look at. I mean, honestly, you probably never pick up a newspaper, but there are job listings in there. But the internet's probably your best source. A contact is really important. A contact is a member of your network. A lot of times job openings are not advertised, and therefore contacts could provide you with inside information on job openings. And this is why networking is so important. Somebody who knows you and wants you to get a job and succeed is probably a better source than waiting for a job to be posted on the internet, because somebody may have an inside track on that job before you even see it. One important thing you can consider doing is job shadowing. That is spending a morning or afternoon with a worker in the type of job that interests you. You can think and see, how are these activities performed? It could give you an inside track, and it could also help you with future job openings. Get a sense of those before they're posted, and also give you an idea if it's something that you're interested in. School counseling and placement services are there to assist you in making career choices. Your guidance counselor can help you with this. Cooperative education, these are programs where students are offered, can attend class part of the day and then go to a job that provides supervised field experience. There are some colleges that's their model. I know Drexel University in Philadelphia has co-ops as the main model in their programs. You can think about employment agencies. They help job seekers find jobs. A headhunter is a type of agency that seeks highly qualified people to fill important positions. And so as you're advancing in your career, you may get contacted by a headhunter who's looking for people and shopping around, and that's a good place to find a job. A temp agency provides part or full-time temporary job placement. If you've ever seen The Office, which is one of my favorite shows, Ryan, the character of Ryan, is a temp at the beginning of the show because he's been placed. A temp agency has placed him in that job at Dunder Mifflin. So those are things that exist that you could access. Newspaper yellow pages, private job listings, they have help wanted ads. probably will never use them, to be honest. Online job info. This is key. Places like LinkedIn, all kinds of different websites that have job placement or job opportunities. You might want to look at an employer's website, company website, professional association websites. When you're thinking about techniques, your work history is an important thing to have. It's a record of the jobs that you've held and how long you've stayed with each employer. That will be important for employers to analyze and evaluate as you move forward and as they consider if you're the right person to hire. This part of the process isn't fun, looking for jobs and applying, but it's really important that you put in the work, because in order to find a good job and the right job, it takes some time. So you want to get organized, you want to make a plan, you want to follow up once you have applied, sending follow-up emails, etc. And you can't give up, because it may be a daunting task to find a job, but once you get your foot in the door somewhere, that's the most important first step. And proving that you're a good worker, you have to be able to do that. So that's it for chapter 2. If you have any questions, let me know.